Thanks to your generous donations, we've begun the work on Burrell House to convert it into Winchester Hospice. We've been overwhelmed with response, and as you can see all around us, that building work has begun. The plan is to transform this building into an inpatient unit with 10 individual bedrooms with ensuite bathrooms that will feel much more like a home than a hospital. Here, our patients and their families can spend special time together, focusing on their dignity, their quality of life, and enjoying the beautiful garden and building, whilst also receiving care from our specialist teams. Winchester Hospice will not only provide care for people in this building, but will enable people who choose to remain at home at the end of their lives to receive specialist care and support. This time next year, Burrell House will become a specialist hub for palliative care. We will be able to welcome our first ever patients to Winchester Hospice. However, we still need over £1 million to refurbish and equip this building to make it into a fully functioning hospice, and that's why we urgently need your help. With one big push over the next few weeks and months, you and your communities in Winchester can help us raise the money to open Winchester Hospice on time and provide as much care and support as we can for those people experiencing life-limiting illnesses and also those nearing the end of their lives.
Hospice care is more than just the building. It is the ethos of care, of looking after people at their most vulnerable, but supporting those important around them during that time and afterwards, being there if people need us. Hospice care is about the services we provide in the building, in people's own homes. A hospice provides similar care to that provided in a hospital, but with additional benefits of a homely environment where people feel more at ease. The hospice is urgently needed. Currently, people living in and around Winchester who need and will benefit from hospice care are having to travel either to Southampton, Andover or Basingstoke. There are people I see every day who ask whether Winchester Hospice is open yet, and are surprised that they would have to travel quite so far for hospice services. So with your help, we can do this together.
So the news was, clearly devastating. You just don't know what to do with yourself for a few days afterwards, sleep-wise or anything like that. And telling friends and family that you were effectively going to be leaving them at some point soon, whilst you were sort of still in your 50s, is pretty hard. Life changed for me and my family in June 2018. It's the 5th of June. You remember these dates when you're given such bad news. I was diagnosed with esophageal junction cancer, so that's a tumour that was on my food pipe. Sadly, they also told me that that had spread from there into other nearby organs and into lymph nodes, and that makes it inoperable. The specialist oncologist I saw at that time was quite blunt in his diagnosis. I appreciated it on reflection. But he was telling me that the likelihood was that I had less than 12 months to live from that point. So what was on offer from that point was palliative care rather than curative care. And boy, that sort of news hits you like a sledgehammer. You think of whether there's anything you would have done differently in life, and I'm actually pleased to say there's not too much I would have changed actually. So I've had a brilliant life until this point. I'd just like a little bit more really.
Viv and I met through theatre and music, because it's that really we have in common in terms of our interests. I think we just sort of recognised we had a similar kind of energy. I mean, Viv, she has always been an extraordinarily energetic and dynamic person. Somebody recently called her a pocket rocket, yeah, that she liked that because it fitted really. Viv one evening began to get a very severe pain, tummy pain, and had to take herself off to bed. And this was obviously pretty worrying. It turned out, rather in a way this was good, that this was an early warning that not everybody gets when they have her form of cancer. It turned out that Viv had ovarian cancer. It's one of the nastiest ones because it hides itself for a long time, and then it isn't, at the moment, curable. The shock, of course, of knowing that she had, you know, the last person, she's such a healthy person, the last person you would expect, but then these things don't make sense. The new situation for Viv is, sadly, that she is coming towards the end of her life. You can't know how quickly it will come, but if the treatment isn't working, and no new treatment seems to be coming on stream, then she will, in the near future, be needing end-of-life care.
I have to say I'm terrified that, you know, end of life will come, and as end of life comes for me, it will probably come attached with you know, pain with the condition. And I was absolutely shocked to see that in Winchester there's no real palliative care services that operate outside usual business hours, and certainly not at weekends. In truth, it's really taking a turn in A&E. And if you've ever been in A&E on a Friday night or a Saturday night, you wouldn't wish on anyone, but particularly someone with a terminal condition, to sit alongside. That it just would strip away dignity.
I can't precisely remember when it was that we really began to notice the problem that Winchester has, which is most extraordinarily the lack of a hospice at the heart of our community. And I don't just mean Winchester City, I mean the whole Winchester area. So the more we thought about that, the more we couldn't believe that it hadn't been there before. We could see how people had been given what they needed, but it was not easy for them. The thing that absolutely, emphatically stood out was, it's crazy that Winchester doesn't have one.
I can imagine vividly that the pain and suffering that would be created by me having to travel by car across to either Andover or Southampton. Yeah, even a 30-minute car journey will not be great. Won't be great for my family either, from that respect. And if you have to stay in that sort of facility, of course, my closest family, I'm sure, will come to see me, but it's going to restrict, visits from, good close friends, because it's quite a burden for them to have to do that.
There's a very, very powerful feeling that Viv has, I know, and I have too, that it's as you reach that stage, and goodness knows what it'll feel like, you want it to be possible to live well every day, right to the last day, and to feel that you are, if not at home, then in surroundings that feel familiar and like a place where you belong.
Sadly, I'm not going to outrun this condition, and what I'm trying to make happen is that we get Borough House open as the Winchester Hospice facility as quickly as we can. Today it's a building site, and it's good to see we've got contractors on site, but my time is now limited, and I just need to make sure that we raise the funds so it is open when I need it most.
It would be hard to exaggerate how much better it would be for Viv and others like her who are part of this community in Winchester and have wondered, why do we not have our own hospice here, to be taken in and looked after locally by the best care that can be provided in the new facilities of the Winchester Hospice, where it just makes sense. And so that is why I've become more and more moved to know how many people have already dug deep to give money towards this cause. And therefore I just think now is the time to dig deeper and really make that push in the knowledge that it could be any of us at any time who need this care. So for whatever motive, selfish or opposite, let's all see what we can do to make this the reality.
We've all been so touched by the support that we have been given by the people of Winchester and the surrounding villages. We've been very humbled and feel quite honoured that you've taken us to your hearts. It's a community project and we're really grateful for all that you do for us. Building and converting Burrell House into a hospice gives our patients the dignity and the respect they deserve. We will be delivering care on site 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, as well as care and support in the community. So it's vitally important we have one big push to get the outstanding funds that are needed. If the fundraising goes well, our hospice will be open as soon as the building work is complete. People can help support us by having golf days, dinners, bake sales, all sorts of different events. And we can help you. We can supply you with collecting tins, banners, pop-up banners, and all sorts of different information and t-shirts. Anything that you need, you only have to ask and we can help you out. Amazing fundraising has been happening over the last 2 years and we've made great progress, but we now need your help more than ever. If you could support Winchester Hospice, our patients and our staff would be incredibly grateful. Thank you.
Thank you to everyone who has provided support for the new hospice, both now and for those who might be minded to support in the future. Perhaps you would consider being a hospice champion, which provides regular support and regular giving, both to the hospice whilst it's being constructed, but also in the future to provide for patients and their families at the hospice. By making a donation today, you can help change the lives of the people of Winchester and give them the care that they deserve.
Dig deep, because it really is a fight worth fighting for.
It would be extra special and would make things a lot better for us if she could benefit from the Winchester Hospice.
It could be a member of your family, your neighbour, your friend, a member of your community. Any help you can give us would be incredibly gratefully received.
We have 1 year to do it.
Hospices can change lives, and so can you.